Chapter 2 of Linked by Gordon Korman. Lincoln Rowley. Let's get one thing straight. None of this would have happened if it wasn't for dinosaur poop. I'm not making excuses for myself or anybody else, but way back in the Jurassic period, some stegosauruses went to the bathroom in our mountains. And 100 million years later, Geordie, Duros, Clayton, Pouncey, and I are teetering across a darkened parking lot, struggling under the weight of an 80-pound bag. Are you sure this is the right stuff? I pant as the bag passes under the glow of the street lamp. It says peat moss mix, not fertilizer. What if it doesn't stink? Pouncey worries. Trust me, when we open the bag, we'll have more stink than we know what to do with, Geordie assures us. My mom topped up the cedar hedge with this stuff 3 weeks ago. I'm still sleeping with my windows closed. It's a cool night, but carrying the heavy sack has us grunting and sweating like pigs. The girls are waiting for us in front of the office. What took you so long? Sophie Taverner complains. We're freezing here. Try carrying this, I groan. It'll warm you right up. The sign on the door reads, Wexford Smythe University, Department of Paleontology. Why does a snooty college in Massachusetts have an office more than 2,000 miles away in Chokecherry, Colorado? That's where the dinosaur poop comes in. This is where they found it, all neatly fossilized. It looks like a rock, but don't you believe it. First, they found the poop. Then, they found a footprint in the poop. Dinosaurs weren't too picky where they stepped, so the college sent a crew to investigate. And when the first bone fragments popped up, that was it. They say the scientists will be here for years. A few of their kids even go to our school. The digging is happening in the mountains, but the university opened up this little office in town so the PhDs can have a home base and also rub it in our faces how much smarter they are than us locals. The prank is my idea, inspired by a comment from Pouncey. Basically, if you get your jollies crawling on your hands and knees digging up fossilized poop, then you'll really love an office full of the real thing, smell included. Who brought the funnel? Pouncey asks the girls. I did. Pamela Bynes holds up one of those plastic cooking funnels. The opening is maybe an eighth of an inch. Ah, Pam, Geordie explodes. There's no way we can get 80 pounds of fertilizer through that thing. Even in gloom, I could see her flame red. You just said funnel. You didn't say a big funnel. It's fine, I interrupt. Once Pamela and Geordie start fighting, it could go on for hours. They've been like that since we were all 7. True love, I guess. It's usually pretty entertaining, but not when you're carrying an 80-pound load. Shifting the weight of the bag to my left hand, I tear a 4-inch hole in the corner with my right. Instantly, the overpowering smell of manure reaches all our nostrils. Pamela wrinkles her nose. That stinks. It's poop, Pam, not roses, Geordie snaps at her. Sophie holds open the mail slot, and we insert our makeshift spout. Then we hold the bag high, tilt it, and begin shaking it until we feel the fertilizer starting to pour out. Pamela produces a 3x5 card that reads, Dinosaur poop, and stuffs it in through the slot. Just in case I don't get the joke, she supplies. They're scientists, Geordie says impatiently. They're smart, they'll get it. They just might not appreciate it, I add, with as much as a grin as I can manage, under the circumstances. They're not so smart, Pouncey scoffs. What's a diploma? A fancy piece of paper? That's what my dad says. He talks about his father a lot, which is weird, since the two of them can barely stand each other. I brought this. Sophie reaches into her jacket pocket and produces the wishbone from a medium-sized chicken. Wexford Smite didn't really get excited until they found bones. She stuffs the fossil in through the mailbox. That makes us all laugh, even Pouncey, who isn't known for his sense of humor. Since our eyes are adjusted to the darkness, when the car turns into the parking lot, the headlights are blinding. We pull the fertilizer bag out of the door, but there's no hiding it. We're caught in the act, lit up like performers on a stage. Geordie bellows, "Run!" "No!" I gasp. I'm too late. They all take off, leaving me literally holding the bag. Maybe 10 or 15 pounds went in through the slot. The rest of it collapses on top of me. My head strikes the pavement, and I see a few stars that are not necessarily in the sky. I hear a car door and running feet. By the time I manage to roll out from under the sack and make it up to my knees, a man is gazing down at me in concern. "You okay, kid? What stinks?" I try to say I'm fine, but the wind has been knocked out of me by at least 65 pounds of fertilizer. "I told you the dry cleaner was closed," calls a woman's voice from the car. She pauses. "Hey, isn't that George Rowley's boy?" Busted. The problem with living in a one-horse town like Chokecherry is you can't get away with anything, especially when your dad is George Rowley, owner of the Chokecherry Real Estate, the largest and the only real estate agency in Chokecherry in Greater Shadbush County. He loves this town. More, I think, than he loves his trouble-making son. Which is why I became the mastermind behind Operation Dino Doo-Doo. Even though 5 of us pulled the prank at the strip mall, I was the one who didn't have the luxury of taking off. Not after that lady recognized me. Everyone around here knows about my father. He's kind of like the stealth mayor, although Mayor Radisson has nothing to worry about. Dad doesn't have time for local politics. He's too busy being Chokecherry's #1 cheerleader because, as he puts it, the town's success brings success to all of us. No wonder he's ticked off at me. Not only did I make fun of the town's pride and joy, but I was also a failure at doing it. Story of my life. How do you think it feels, Link? Dad demands once he has me in the SUV. When I get a call from one of my own clients to tell me that my son has been caught vandalizing an office. Everyone around here is your client, I point out. So if you want the call to be from a stranger, I'll have to take a bus to Shadbush Crossing and mess up there. Link, my mother warms from the shotgun seat. I call her the referee. You're the one who's in the wrong. What were you thinking? He obviously wasn't thinking, my father puts in, or none of us would be here right now. I guess we thought it would be funny, I offer lamely. It's the truth. There are no bigger jokes in Chokecherry than Geordie, Pouncey, and me, with the girls as backup. To be honest, considering the time we spent pranking and goofing, we don't spend that much time laughing. Getting caught doesn't help, I guess. That's okay. For me, the real goal is getting the attention of people like Dad. Mission accomplished, although maybe not the way I'd planned. Thinking of the others, I quickly amend my answer to, "I thought it would be funny." I'm no snitch, even though my friends ran out on me. Mom shoots an exasperated look over her shoulder. Don't even bother. We aren't stupid, you know. One kid can't drag an 80-pound bag of fertilizer halfway across town. Who was with you? I don't answer, and Dad doesn't push it. Trust me, he isn't being cool or respecting the code of the schoolyard. He really, truly doesn't care who else is involved. All he's worried about is how this looks. Optics. It's his favorite word. After chokecherry. Leave it to our town to be named after a wild berry sour. Sorry. After a wild berry sour enough to change your outlook on life. With a pit the size of a cannonball. Dad wheels us onto Blossom Avenue. I'm not as out of touch as you think I am. I was once a kid too. I know sometimes you have to cut loose. But why that office, huh? The one group that's working to put Chokecherry on the map. That's the real reason Dad's so steamed about this. His main ambition in life is to turn our dumpy little mountain town into an A-list tourist destination. How's it going to happen? In a word, dinosaurs. If the Wexford Smythe paleontologists are right, and our little dig turns into a major find, Dad wants to reinvent Chokecherry as the dinosaur capital of North America. First, a museum full of towering skeletons surrounding a special glass case displaying the poop that started it all. Next, a theme park, Dino Disney, or Six Flags Dino Land. Then hotels, restaurants, ski resorts, golf courses. Our town is destined for greatness, and the real estate in it is destined for greatness too. Guess who bought up most of it? And if Dino Land turns out to be a bust, guess who owns 13,000 acres of nothing? Chokecherry's already on the map, I say. Why do we need scientists to make us important? I go to their school with their kids, and they're all snobs and dweebs. Who ever heard of their stupid university anyway? You know what Orlando, Florida was before Disney found it? My father persists. A swamp. Look at it now. Chokecherry could be the next Orlando. Too much traffic, Mom puts in. Dad ignores her. You have got to think big picture, Link. The future of the town is the future of this family, and the future of this family is your future. I tune him out. If there's a word Dad likes as much as optics, it's future. In his mind, my entire life is this gigantic chess match where every tiny move I make in the seventh grade has to be perfectly designed to bring out some glorious endgame decades later. When Jordy, Pouncey, and I spread lard across the 4th of July parade, sorry, when Jordy, Pouncey, and I spread light across the 4th of July parade route, we were just trying to wipe out the marching band. We were supposed to know that Sammy. How are we supposed to know that Sammy was going to skid into a telephone pole? And when Dan banned me from all school sports teams as punishment, it wasn't for plunging the whole town into darkness for 3 days. It was to protect your future. There was no point in describing to him how awesome it was going to be to watch the musicians floundering all over the intersection. My father has the sense of humor of a loaf of bread. There was even less point in explaining that taking me out of the sports would be like pulling him off the Chokecherry Chamber of Commerce. I mean, I'm a pretty popular kid, but if you ask people around here about Link Rally, the main answer you'll get will be athlete. Dad thinks if he just keeps slamming me with punishment after punishment, I'll wise up. The truth is, I've wised up already. To him. Mom sighs her peacemaker sigh. Let's not fight. The sooner we can get this bag of fertilizer out to the shed, the sooner we can hose out the trunk. Dad grunts his assent and sweets up a little. We're sup- we stopped at a light when his phone rings. When he answers, we hear a lot of animated yelling on the other end of the line. Suddenly he stops on the gas and we blow the light. Screech through an illegal U-turn and then blow the light in the opposite direction as we roar off down the road. George! My mom hangs onto the dashboard for dear life. Where are you going? That was Principal Braidmass, he replies grimly, leaning on the gas pedal. There's trouble at the school. Thanks for listening.